Welcome everybody to the August Town Hall. We're really excited that you're participating with us today. We had a great session yesterday for our first option, and this is our second session. For context and to kind of give you guys up to speed, this is a follow-up to our July Town Hall. So we had shared lots of information to you about where we're going with a new strategy and direction for learning here at Microsoft. And so that's what we shared in our July Town Hall. And so today we're going to share the next level of detail for you so you have a bit more context. If you have not seen that July Town Hall or did not attend it, I would strongly encourage you guys to go back, review that recording. It's posted on MCT Central under the Town Hall section. And that just gives you some more context if you have some additional questions about the strategy. We'll kind of recap a little bit today, but really we're going to do a deep dive. I've got lots of the team members here. Selena Winter will cover certification, and then Evelyn and Merrick are going to come on and talk through the courseware and ILT and additional updates that I know you guys were looking for last time. So we got a lot to cover. Just wanted to remind you that the Q&A, we've got a team moderating the Q&A for you, and we are welcoming your questions. It's really helpful for us as we're structuring these presentations and how we're rolling things out to get clarification and feedback from you guys. So we're also, just so that you know, taking all of your questions and compiling them together so that when we do get to the point of rolling all this out publicly at Ignite, we've taken a lot of your questions into consideration. So it's really helpful for us, for you guys to be asking questions and giving us feedback. Know that we capture a lot of that feedback and we share it out. So again, really appreciate your participation in that. All right, with that, we're going to dive in. So just to kind of level set everyone, we have 4 pillars when we think about our new strategy. And we've been really focusing on what customers are saying, the feedback that we're getting from industry, from our customers, both people that are taking Microsoft training and certification and people who are not, looking through. And so we've really kind of focused in on 4 main pillars with the goal of having a connected ecosystem across all of our learning products. So our 4 pillars are role-based, really important that we're starting with defining a job role and the associated skills that you need to know for that job role and how that falls into the learning paths and certification. We're also looking at things being aligned and really wanting to make sure that from the point of anytime you're touching different learning assets at Microsoft, that it's connected and that we've got a connected story between all of our learning products, including certification, our ILT, our online courses, books, etc. The other big pillar for us is around recognition. Really want to make sure that we're recognizing and motivating learners, that we're really helping them move through and continue their learning journey. This is a really big, important pillar for Microsoft as we think about lifelong learning and the importance of really having a full learning journey and motivating people to continue along. And our 4th pillar, which is going to be an evergreen as we think about our programs moving forward, is really keeping them simple and discoverable. This is not an area we're always the best at here at Microsoft, but we are really striving to improve that. And so you'll be hearing some things that we are striving towards making things simple, making things discoverable, making things easy for you, and really bringing the learner at the center of that conversation. Now, in some cases, you as MCTs are the user and the main user of that. So sometimes the kind of customer focus or user focus will be you, and sometimes it's the people that you're teaching. So it kind of depends, and we're really working through all those different scenarios. We've got some cool things to share around that. I wanted to kind of level set and let you know that we're really focusing around the aligned experience today so that you can see where we're going with our certifications and our courseware, both instructor-led and online. And really all that starts with the job task analysis. So when we think about the job task analysis, this is something that we've been doing for our certifications for a long time, but it hasn't always necessarily carried through to the rest of our content. So we start with the job task analysis, which is essentially that identification of the roles that we have in the marketplace. And they're not necessarily Microsoft roles specifically, they're roles that are industry validated. And then we go through a process where we're finding all the skills and all the tasks that you need to know to complete that job in that particular role. And from there, that's when we kind of vet that up. It goes up through a chain of command at Microsoft for your awareness, up through a steering committee that includes our marketing teams across the products, our engineering teams, as well as worldwide learning. So there's really high visibility into this process, and there's a lot of excitement that's going on around with the company right now. Out of that job task analysis comes our content development. So it's all the different bits and pieces that go into our content development, and that becomes that source of truth. And then there's outputs from there for our training modalities. ILT, where you guys play a huge part, our online training, books, things like that. And then we have our certification. So the goal really is to make sure that all of our learning products are really connected, that it really feels like a family, and there's a suite of opportunities and different options depending on what the learner needs. And everything, again, is connected. So you'll hear that consistency and that consistency of content, that message coming throughout all the stuff that we're going to be rolling out. Again, with the focus that this is not just about one product or program, that we're really looking at the whole thing all up. All right, and with that, I'm going to pass it over to Selena, so she's going to do a deep dive on our certifications specifically.
Thanks, Allison. As always, I'd like to start by saying how excited I am to be with you guys. I always love to share what we have going on, but more importantly, hear back from you, as Allison said, with your feedback and your questions, and I know you're not a shy group. So as Allison also said, we are continuing the discussion that we've had going on with you already, and we'll continue to do that throughout the launch process, because having your feedback and insight is valuable to us. And I'll start by sharing with you that we are announcing 7 new job roles at Ignite. 3 of them will look familiar to you, likely, if you've seen any of the summaries from Inspire. The first 5 are in the Azure space, specifically Azure Apps and Infrastructure. We have the Azure Administrator, the Azure Developer, the Azure Solutions Architect, and then, of course, new to you might be the DevOps Engineer and Security Engineer. Additionally, we will be announcing at Ignite 2 roles that fall in the M365 space. We will be announcing the Microsoft 365 Administrator and the Modern Desktop Administrator. So some excitement around getting these new cloud-based job roles out. And before I go into the rest of my presentation, I do want you to know there will be many more job roles coming. Think of this as a rolling launch that starts at Ignite and will continue, frankly, for some time. And so if you don't see roles here in a particular area, you just know that they will be coming. And then we'll deep dive now into how those roles really look when it comes to the certifications. So if you look at all the certifications for the job roles that fall in the Azure Apps and Infrastructure path, first I will share with you that we've settled on 3-tiered structure for our certification program: a fundamentals level, an associate level, and an expert level. And the fundamentals level is meant to be really what it sounds like. It is an exam that covers the fundamentals of Azure. It'll have a little bit of admin, a little bit of developer. It'll also set, I think, folks up nicely for things that will come in the data and AI space. But it's kind of a well-rounded fundamentals level, kind of entry-level exam for Azure. If you take a look then at 3 roles I want to share with you that will be 3 certifications that will be available starting at Ignite. We have the Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator that will be available at Ignite, the Microsoft Certified Azure Developer Associate that will be available at Ignite, and then the Microsoft Certified Azure Solutions Architect available at Ignite. So even though we'll be announcing all the job roles that are in this architecture, the 3 that I just named are the 3 that will be available at Ignite. Drilling down a little more specifically on what I just said, when I said that the certifications would be available at Ignite, it means the exams will be ready to take. And as most of you, or many of you probably already know, the Azure Administrator Associate exams are already in market. When we previewed that 3 new job role-based certifications would be coming at Inspire, we actually did go ahead and release those admin associated exams. And then at Ignite, we will have the developer and the architect exams. So starting the first day of Ignite, folks will be able to take those exams. Also, I wanted to let you know that we wanted to make sure that folks that had invested in the areas that we're evolving, including the Azure space, are taken care of. The exam team came up with a great transition strategy that allows people who have taken some of the exams that we have in market today to take what we're calling a transition exam and to earn the new certifications that we're launching. And I really want to drill down on this just a little bit, because I want to make sure that you all understand what these exams are meant to do. If you think about it, if someone's taken exam 533, which is implementing Microsoft Azure Infrastructure Solutions, then they have demonstrated a good number of administrator skills. The new exam, or sorry, the new certification is made up of 2 exams. And so what our SMEs did, and the folks who are experts in our content development team, they actually took a look at both new exams that are in the admin space. They compared that to the 533 exam, and then they came up with an exam that essentially covers the delta. So what this allows us to do, again, is honor and recognize the investment that someone has already made in this space, while still asking them to demonstrate the delta skills, if you will, the incremental skills that we believe are required. And by doing both of those things, then the folks who do that will be awarded the new certifications. And we do have transition plans in several of the solution areas, but it is in some cases specific to a certain number of exams in that space. So as we continue to launch things, we'll be sure to make it clear which things have transition exams. Segueing from Azure into the Microsoft 365 Modern Workplace certifications, what you're seeing again is the same 3-tier structure that you saw on the Azure exams. We'll be introducing at some point a Microsoft 365 Certified Fundamentals exam. And then moving up to the associate level, at Ignite, we will be introducing the Microsoft 365, I should say we'll be announcing the Microsoft 365 Modern Desktop Administrator Associate, and then we'll be announcing the Microsoft 365 Certified Enterprise Administrator Expert level. So they will not be available for testing at Ignite, but they will be announced and will be launching before the end of this calendar year. Please note, for your purposes and information only, as you think about prepping how we're evolving this space, I'm showing you 4 other job roles that we're evaluating currently, but I don't show them as the official names of the certifications, and I certainly am calling out that these roles are pending. They're in varying stages, if you will, of evaluation and implementation, and so some of them are pending JTAs and a number of other things. So just keep in mind this is meant to be directional. Taking that next step down into the Microsoft 365 Administrator and the Desktop Administrator. Again, these are both 2 exam paths. So when you look at the Enterprise Administrator, there's an Identity and Services exam, there's a Mobility and Security exam. Taking both of those exams will yield you the new certification at the expert level for M365. For Desktop Administrator, also 2 exams. You might notice we don't have the official exam titles there, so I've just kind of indicated they're Exam 1 and Exam 2. A couple of other things I'll point out while I'm on this slide. You'll notice that on the exam, the little gray exam boxes, there's a ribbon, little circle with a ribbon, and that indicates that we'll be awarding them a badge for passing the exam. But someone won't be considered certified until they pass both those exams. And so the badge in the top left, which is not the final design of the badge, as noted on the slide, will be awarded for being certified. So there will be a badge that says Microsoft 365 Enterprise Administrator Expert, and will show that someone is certified. The second thing I'll point out as I'm on this slide is there is no transition plan for no transition exam for this new certification, because there wasn't a clear mapping in the same way that we could do for 532, 533, and 535 in the Azure space. So just be aware of that. To give you an idea of what else might be coming, or just actually I should say the timeline that we're on, as I mentioned, we actually introduced the Azure Administrator exams at Inspire. At Ignite, which is the week of 9/24, September 24th, we will be announcing Developer and Architect, and we will also be releasing the associated exams. And then moving into fourth quarter of the calendar year, we will be rolling out the Azure DevOps Engineer role certification training, which you're going to hear more about all these things, the training for all these things from Evelyn and Merrick. We'll also launch the Enterprise Administrator certification and the Modern Desktop certification. And then finally, in terms of job roles that we are prepared to announce, we will announce the Azure Security and Engineer, but it won't be launching until later. It'll be early next year. And actually, let me just, yes, we will be announcing that. Sorry, wanted to make sure I got my messaging right. Additional roles will be coming, as I said earlier. More roles in the 365 space, Microsoft 365. We'll be relooking at data and AI and evolving to job role-based approach there. And even business applications is planning to evolve to this new job role-based approach. So lots of goodness coming. As I mentioned before, big excitement at Ignite as we announce the changes in the program, and then taking our time to do a rolling launch, if you will, to make sure that we get the roles right and we get the associated certification and training right. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Allison.
Great. And now we're going to have Evelyn come on board to talk through courseware.
Thank you. So my name is Evelyn Sheehan. I'm the Director of Business Strategy here at Microsoft, and I'm focused on instructor-led training here in the Worldwide Learning Organization. And so today, if you take away only one thing from this session, speed to market is the key takeaway from this part of the session. As you all know, MOOC as a form factor has been around for about 20 years. It has served us all really well, and all of you have leveraged this content over the years to deliver world-class training. So in the last 3 years, the demand for Azure and Office 365 training has grown dramatically year over year. So now we're in a cloud world. It's time for us to change both how we create instructor-led content and how we deliver it. So to that end, we want to keep up with the constant changes in the software, and we want to release the content to you much faster than we've been able to do in the past. So building on the feedback that you have given us over the last couple of years, as well as the feedback from the learning partners globally, our next wave of MOOC content is going to be cohesive and readily blended with self-paced content. So what this means in practice is that the instructor-led content will be more modular. So that means shorter and more flexible. We will continue to have the integrated hands-on lab experience that our customers really value. We want to capitalize on this sort of winning formula with the lab forward design that the labs are central to the active learning of our students. There will be tight alignment between instructor-led training and our modern credentialing. This is where the instructor-led courses will be tightly exam aligned. And in the future, we plan to have achievement-based badging also for course completion. So more on that on a future town hall. So because of the modular nature of the content in the future, our updates will be delivered much faster than ever before. We will have even tighter alignment with our product engineering teams, and we'll be able to create update the ILT training much faster than was possible in the past with mock, where it would take us, a few months to update at times. So you can see there's a big focus on getting content to the market much faster. So moving on to the next slide here, I want to show you some student verbatim comments associated with the training challenges that they have experienced. Our students see you as the MCTs as the experts who have the knowledge to help them understand the theory as well as the real world application of Azure. So we really appreciate all that you do for students, especially when the content hasn't been completely current. So looking at the feedback shown on screen, you can see the various themes around what students value and how you as MCTs can help them consistently with your skill and with your preparation. So you can see that students value MCTs who are prepared and able to deal with software that's constantly changing, MCTs who are knowledgeable about Azure beyond what's in the specific training course, MCTs who understand the real world applications for the specific training, and MCTs who provide students with the theory before, making sure the students understand the theory before jumping into the labs. And also MCTs who are able to juggle the challenge where students have different levels of understanding of the cloud fundamentals. We know that students take training for three primary purposes. Number one is to build their skills. Number two is to prepare for enterprise deployments. And number three is to prepare for exams. And you as MCTs are at the heart of everything in helping the students to reach their goals, whatever the reason they're taking the training, and be successful ultimately. So in this next slide here, what I want to do is to set some context for the rest of this session from the ILT perspective. We're going to focus on the instructor-led content that's specifically associated with the Azure Administrator exams. And that is so that you can sort of see what is planned for the next wave of mock with the combination of instructor-led content and self-paced content that is so very tightly aligned with exams. But first, I want to make sure that you're aware that we plan to use a similar approach as for Azure Admin for all the other certifications also that are shown here on the screen. And as always, we want to continue to capture your feedback on an ongoing basis. It is super valuable to us to understand, what you value, what's going well, and things that are not working for you or for the students. So please keep that content or that feedback coming. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Merk van Dongen. He will provide the next level of detail on the Azure Administrator. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. I am just going to review a few things with you with respect to upcoming content. So let me advance a slide here. All right. So here we're showing a bit of a matrix of, you've heard from Allison, Selena, and Evelyn about how the job task analysis output is going to feed our exam structure. It's going to also feed our two different modalities of content, ILT and self-paced online content as provided to Learning as a Service partners. You can see that we're adopting. Well, what we haven't had previously is those online courses have not been necessarily mapped to exams and not been aligned to what we've been producing for ILT content. That is changing. So we're really trying to align that content much more closely. So it provides much more flexibility with respect to what type of learning experiences can be offered to customers in a blended type of way, using the online courses and then ILT in a way, since it's derived from the same single source of content, is a great way, I think, to provide flexibility to the learner and still provide a facilitated learning experience to the customer. You can also see that with our move to a more modular framework and offering, we have multiple courses that align to a single exam. We've had that before with mock courses with Dash 1 and Dash 2 courses, but we will have that in spades a little bit as far as more courses, 3, 4, 5 courses that may align to one exam. So I did want to call that to your attention. I did want to mention that MCTs will get access to all the ILT materials that align to this new structure that we're putting together. But you'll also get access to the online courses as an option for your preparatory purposes. So Allison will be speaking with that in a bit after I'm done. So I'll save that for her. Okay, I'll go to the next slide here. I wanted to highlight what we're doing for the Azure Administrator. These exams came out at the Inspire conference, and we're showing you the actual ILT titles that make up those exams. So you can see 5 one-day courses that map to the AZ100 exam, and 4 one-day courses aligning to the AZ101 exam. Let me just spend a little bit of time on the course number itself. What we're adopting is a prefix that highlights the role / technology area. So this is for AZ is for Azure, and that'll give both you and partners and customers a sense for what that course entails, or what area that course belongs in. And that is these courses will be included in the courseware title plan that I'm publishing. There's a question that came in the chat early about publishing that. I did not publish a title plan in July, so we've got lots of updates to share with you here in August, and I'm going to be publishing that to MCT Central tomorrow on Friday. So you'll see more there. And let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is retirement. So, as you know, we're first coming out with new Azure exams that will replace the 532, 533, and 535 exams, and we are going to be also retiring the 20532, 20533, and 20535 exam courses, and mock on demand courses. In a coterminous type of relationship with the exam. So those will also retire on December 31st. With that being said, the mock on demand courses for other technologies, if they are going to be directly replaced by exams, that new structure exams, we will also be retiring those courses. There may be exception cases in case there's lots of technology that aren't covered, but we'll make that assessment. But for those mock on demand courses that are not directly replaced by the new role-based exams and content, they will remain in market, and we'll be maintaining them as well. Okay, my last slide is just to share with you that we are trying to assess, in an effort to both have a robust set of instructor materials for you, but also to streamline on what we are providing to you in order to adhere to those tenets we have. One of the tenets of faster updates, and trying to get content to market more quickly, and a cadence of faster updates after that. So there is a poll, and I think Allison's going to share that in the chat window with you. There is a poll that we're holding, an informal poll to all MCTs that have been on the town hall calls, but I think Allison's posted it to MCT Central as well. We want to get your input and feedback on how you would rank these instructor resources. So if you haven't had a chance, please help us to get your insight into how you'd rank these resources currently come with mock products. And to give you an example of how we're potentially looking at this, look at the last one on that list, the error log. In the past, we did not update mock very frequently. So a new version would come out, sometimes every 6 months, sometimes every year, sometimes every 18 months, and that there or not at all. And there were some noted issues with the course that we didn't update. We might have updated them for the lab steps on GitHub, but not in the student content. And so we document in an error log, provided to you, the MCT, to review, so you could inform your students as to what to look out for in the content. As we move to a quicker review process, reviewing the content every month, and if we actually have lab steps broken, we'll make those fixes immediately or as soon as possible, and reflect those changes in the student content. So every month doing an assessment for Azure-based content, every quarter having at least quarterly having an update, and monthly if needed. So that pace of update is changing. It does lean towards an elimination of the error log, because we'll be updating the content much more quickly. So those are things that we're thinking of as we move to a more modular, more frequently updated resource structure, and we'd like to get your input as well. Okay, that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to Allison to continue on to readiness.
Thanks, Merrick. So we did put that poll in the Q&A, so you should be seeing that up. It's also posted on MCT Central, and I think people have been sharing it on Facebook as well. So great response so far. Really looking for your help in prioritizing the resources that you use, so that we can, as Merrick and Evelyn alluded to, make sure that we're getting content out to market faster and that we're able to update things quicker. And so we know that that has been a challenge in the past, and so we're really looking for your partnership on that to make sure that we're producing things you need, leveraging the work that you need to do. Just a few reminders. We have been talking through a lot of different areas. We've really focused on Azure. That's because that was the first technology space that we went out and went through this process with. So we know it's been very, very Azure heavy for the last 2 town halls, but know that the process that we're explaining, we may be using Azure as an example. We're going to be rolling that out to a lot of other of our technology areas. So we're hoping that that's coming through as well. Is that don't fret, it's not only in Azure. That's not the only content we'll be producing moving forward. There's a lot of other stuff coming. We just have been focusing on Azure, and it's the process that we're the farthest along with, so we can really illustrate it from the end to end. All right, well, I wanted to talk through a few things with you guys and really let you know that, as I mentioned earlier in the call, we really think about discoverability as being really important and really bringing that learner at the center. So you've heard all about our aligned experience, things that we're talking about with certification and our ILT and online courses. And so really wanting to let you guys know that with that, we're really going through a process of making sure that we're keeping that learner at the center, and that all of our web assets and digital programs and things are really streamlined. We're in the process of mapping all the various customer journeys, which really basically means how someone end-to-end accesses all of our stuff. So you're going to start to see some things change. In that spirit, we're going to be making some improvements and changes to our web experience and all the other associated processes. So you're going to see things that are going to be improving, making things easier to download your transcript and share your transcript, for example, or get a digital copy of your certificates. We're going to see some improvements coming to the dashboard. And as I mentioned earlier, this is really going to be an evergreen, always on kind of idea. So we're going to be constantly challenging ourselves and striving for simplicity and making sure that things are discoverable. So just know that you're going to be seeing some changes in some of the properties, and we hope that they are better and more easy to use, more streamlined. But there are going to be things that are going to be launching prior to the Ignite timeframe, around Ignite, and then long past Ignite as we continue to make some improvements and streamline some things. So love your feedback on as you're seeing things rolling out, seeing things change. Would love to make sure that you guys we're capturing that feedback and getting that in. The other piece that Merrick alluded to in his conversation with you guys was around MCT readiness. And so we're really trying to streamline how we get access for you guys. So we're committing that please know that all the new content that we're developing, the ILT content, will be available in the Learning Download Center. So that is going to be available as well as through Courseware Marketplace on Arvado. So you'll still get the access to the student versions like you do. You'll get access to all the specific ILT content within the Learning Download Center. We are also going to get you access to all the online courses as well. And we're still working out the specifics of that because we have to make sure that it's in the right spot, but we most likely will be putting up learning paths on MCT Central so you're able to access that content. More information about this will come out at the Ignite timeframe, so we'll let you know the specifics of what you need to do, but definitely know that that's coming, and we are going to get you access to all the content that we're rolling out. Also letting you know that we've got the 75% exam discount in market, so we're trying to get you deeper discounts for those exams. We did just add the 3 new Azure admin exams, 100, 101, and 102. So those there were some beta codes available. Those beta codes have expired, as in they've been all used up, but we added that to the 75% MCT discount. We also are committing that moving forward, all the new exams are going to be in that discount as well. So really making sure you as MCTs get access to the deepest discounts that we have available. Another opportunity for you is practice tests. So we are going to have practice tests available for the new Azure admin exams that'll actually be ready at Ignite. Selena's been really pushing the practice test team to really get that through, so we've got those available. You as MCTs, you get 40% discount off all practice tests, which is a great opportunity. If you are attending Ignite, please note that there is going to be free on-site practice tests. So that's another cool thing to try, especially if you're not necessarily in the Azure space and you want to try and see how the new exams are. That is a great opportunity for you. Okay, there's a few next steps that we wanted to call out. If you are ready, you want to take the new exams. If you've taken 533, sign up for the new transition exam, which is 102. And if you haven't taken 533, you've got 2 options for 2 new exams, and all those exams are available in the 75% discount. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. And then, we really want to let you know, I want to hear your feedback. Also want to have you evangelize our new direction. So in this presentation, we specifically called out the areas that are confidential. Those are under your Microsoft NDA that you agree to when you become an MCT. So please keep that confidential. We were hoping to call out specifically that information, but the general direction that we're going in is not necessarily confidential. If you have questions about that, we are happy to answer all those questions about what can and cannot be shared within MCT Central. Please just do a post and we'll get that answered right away. But would love to get your feedback, excitement, comments. Please send those our way. And then also help us, as we're rolling this stuff out. You are key partners in this endeavor. You are a really important audience for us and really important program as we move forward. And so you're our partners in this. So we really want to make sure that we're going in the right direction. And the feedback we received thus far has been really positive. Now, letting you know that we're going to have, there's two upcoming community events that are planned by your fellow MCTs that are happening. So there's going to be MCT Day at Ignite, which is the Saturday before Ignite starts. And so there's a registration link there for you. If you want to go to MCT Day, that's going to be a great opportunity to hear from Worldwide Learning and the folks on our team. We're going to be there talking about this new direction and everything that we're landing, and then the specifics for you as MCTs that you'll need to know. Great opportunity to ask questions, get feedback, because our team will all be there. And then the second event is in Europe. The MCT Global Summit is happening October 22nd through 26th. It's happening in Germany. So there's also a registration link there. And we'll be sending some folks there as well. So it'll be another great opportunity if you can attend Ignite. The Global Summit's coming in October. So great opportunity to get additional feedback and hear more information. And with that, we are done. I want to thank you all for your participation, for your questions. Our team is going to stay online a little bit longer to make sure we get all those questions answered and get all your feedback captured. We really want you to know how much we appreciate you and our partnership that we have together. And we know that this has been a lot of information that's rolling out. So we'll do our best to make sure that you get everything that you need to know when we're able to share it. But really appreciate all your work, all your hard work, and your participation with Microsoft. All right, everybody, thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.